It's about that time of day again. My name is Joseph. Tuesday evening, September 12th. Welcome back to your nightly newsletter. We're covering crude oil, S&P, Nasdaq, gold, and euro this evening. Crude is bullish with a spike in wedge ahead of tomorrow's weekly inventory report, which tells us to look for buying opportunities as early as possible so we don't get chopped up around tomorrow morning's news. The S&P is bullish and trying to finish the measured move, and how they finish this move will tell us whether this is a channel or a trading range strategy for Wednesday. The Nasdaq is bullish with a spike in channel of its own, but a major resistance level on the chart is telling us to look for a possible range tomorrow, which will require us to adjust our plans accordingly. Gold has an opportunity on both sides of the market, both the buyers and sellers having opportunities on gold tomorrow. Sellers have a flag pattern and they look to fade the move back down again, while the buyers have a short-term spike in channel and they're looking to buy down to the battle zone. The euro is bearish and trading sideways, and I'm using a short-term bull spike in channel to help plan my trades for Wednesday. I got a great newsletter in store for you guys and gals tonight. We had some nice big moves in today's session. We get some big opportunities setting up for tomorrow. We get some big news on the calendar here for tomorrow. Haven't had any major news on the schedule yet this week, so we had a kind of a shock to the system tomorrow morning. Looking good for the great day on a Wednesday session. Before I jump in, though, and put together the plan here for tomorrow, I do want to remind you the only place to watch the full-length version of this video is here on our blog at sidewaysmarkets.com. If you're watching the video right now on our YouTube channel, not to worry. There's a link in the description of that YouTube video. Follow that link, come here to the blog at Sideways Markets and watch the full-length version. While you're here, don't forget, join the mailing list. I'll send you an email every evening when our nightly newsletter goes live. Follow me on social, lower left-hand corner, StockTwits, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever your flavor of choice. Make sure you follow me on social media. I'm always posting important charts, links, and updates throughout the week. And don't forget to grab those charts. Speaking of charts, how easy is that? You can follow that link on the blog tonight at Sideways Markets and have all the charts from tonight's video on your computer for tomorrow. And by all means, don't forget to grab that free pass, upper right-hand corner. I'll tell you right now, you're going to learn more with me on 90 minutes in that free pass than you will anywhere else on the interwebs. Make sure after you finish up tonight's video, if you're not a member here at School of Trade, grab that free pass and come out and join me as a guest in the trade room. And don't forget, any questions, hit me up on live support, always available. Live support on the right-hand side of the website. A Wednesday session coming up for tomorrow. Had a great day today. Of course, we're definitely starting to see some of the signs of this third week of September. We saw some lower volume across the board here today. Remember what I told you guys last night? This is the third Friday of the month of September, and every 3 months, the third Friday every 3 months, right, we have the quadruple witching week. Now, quad witching usually just starts getting warmed up Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So from what I saw today, we saw some relatively low volume today. So I'm optimistic always. I'm kind of a perma-bull when it comes to being optimistic. So I'm expecting to have a great day tomorrow, but I do want to kind of put that out there tomorrow. If we do see lower volume, we do have that. Again, quad witching is on Friday the 15th. We don't normally see it start to impact us until Thursday and Friday, late in the day on Wednesday to Thursday and Friday. But, like I mentioned earlier, there's been a lot going on, right, with the hurricanes over the weekend, and of course, right, Harvey, right, a week and a half ago. And with a lot of geopolitical stuff going on right now, we may see a little bit of that slowdown ahead of it. So we're watching volume, we're watching personality tomorrow. Like I said before, I'm expecting a great day, and we're going to do it like we always do in our trade room. So no excuses on my part, but I will be keeping an eye right on that personality tomorrow morning. Now we got a bunch of news tomorrow. As we look at the schedule here for tomorrow, Wednesday the 13th, there's no major news coming out of the overnight session, so nothing to worry about there if you're trading the overnight Asian session. We do have some news, though, tomorrow morning at 4:30 and 5 a.m. Of course, the big numbers, of course, being at 5 a.m. from the industrial production. That'll be the big news tomorrow if you're trading in London. If you're going to be with us tomorrow morning in the trade room, we open up at 8 o'clock Eastern time. We have the PPI number right at 8:30, but really the big news tomorrow morning, for at least for me, I'm a crude trader, trader, right, is that petroleum status report, right, the inventory report. That'll be, if you're a crude trader, that's our big weekly news, right? That's the big news of the week. So 8:30 a.m. right for everybody tomorrow, right? But if you're trading crude, right, your big news event tomorrow is at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. Now, talking briefly here about that inventory report here for tomorrow. Couple things I want to remind you guys about. First of all, anything after 10 a.m. Eastern time, that's half an hour ahead of that weekly inventory report, is considered to be lower probability. I always tell my clients, the official cutoff is 10:15, 15 minutes before the news comes out. But in all reality, you got to get those trades as early as possible tomorrow. Either that, or you run the risk of having to trade during a gambling environment. It is, a lot of traders come in just for the weekly report, just to gamble on oil and USO. So it's not a good, at least I don't recommend it, not for a new trader. If you're an experienced crude oil trader, you know what I'm talking about, right? So trade carefully after that news comes out tomorrow. In my personal experience, if you're relatively new to the markets, you certainly want to stay away from that weekly inventory report. There are so many other times during the week that you can find reliable price action. It is not going to be around that weekly report. So 10 a.m. is the cutoff. I also want to remind you as well, this afternoon, we heard from the API report. That API report comes out at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday afternoon, right? So it happened a few hours ago. Now, if you're following my social channels, right, if you're on StockTwits or any of my Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, anything, I sent out all of the levels from tonight's API report that we're going to use in tomorrow's session. Okay, if you're not on my social media channels, right, what are you waiting for? Make sure you get hooked up on that before you finish up your day today. I'm also going to post them below the video tonight on the blog at Sideways Market. So if you're on YouTube right now, make sure you get over to sidewaysmarkets.com, scroll down below the video. There's a link that says click here to read more. Follow that link and you'll see the levels for tomorrow. So get to it early tomorrow if you're trading crude, right? We'll be trading crude, of course, right? One of the many markets we touch on in our trade room tomorrow morning. And of course, don't forget, right, we've got those support and resistance levels from tonight's API report we're projecting into tomorrow's session. Other than that, for tomorrow, we've got the Treasury budget tomorrow, right? That Treasury budget tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock Eastern time. Again, kind of careful tomorrow afternoon, right? It may be relatively sloppy after lunch tomorrow just because you're going into the second half of this quadruple witching week. And then, of course, tomorrow night, we've got news from China, which is destined to move the needle in the overnight Asian session. We'll come back and talk about that same time, right, tomorrow night. So most important thing for tomorrow is you got some early morning news, 4:30 and 5. Then, of course, 8:30, the big news tomorrow for crude traders, the weekly inventory report, right? And again, watch the personality tomorrow as we go deeper into this quadruple witching week. I also want to give you a heads up. Tomorrow night will be the last newsletter from me this week as well. So if you're tuning in, right, every evening on our newsletter, there will be no newsletter, right, on Thursday night this week. It is quadruple witching. I've got a bunch of stuff going on here in the office in the after hours, and I won't be able to publish our newsletter on Thursday night. So I'll see you again tomorrow night, right, on Wednesday, but there will not be a newsletter on Thursday going into Friday's quad witching. As always, if you want more hands-on, right, assistance from me, you can always become a client, right, and I'm always at your disposal. So with that said, got the schedule for tomorrow, got the plan for tomorrow. Again, no newsletter on Thursday night, right? Want to make sure to get that off my chest there to make sure you guys know about that. And let's jump right in. Getting ready here now, looking at crude, S&P. We'll do some Nasdaq, some gold, and euro. Crude is bullish with a spike in wedge and a hidden spike in channel ahead of the weekly inventory report tomorrow morning. The bull wedge always tells me to focus on traps and seller failures below prior swings with a target going back up to retest the high. The big challenge for tomorrow is getting into those trades before the price action slows down around 10 a.m. Eastern time. So set your reminder, stay disciplined with it, and grab those high percentage trades when you get them. Now you'll notice in the lower left-hand corner of this chart, I have those support and resistance levels that I mentioned earlier. You can copy these down right now, pause the video, copy them down right now, or like I mentioned before, you can simply scroll down below the video tonight on the blog at Sideways Markets. Click here where it says click here to read more, and you'll find all the commentary, right, for tonight's newsletter, and you'll find it there. Now, what a great example here from last night, right? Not a lot has changed from last night. Strong spike up, two-legged pullback into the battle zone, and a move back up to retest the high. If you listened to me from last night's newsletter, you were well prepared for that two-legged pullback, and you were able to get in at the very lowest point of today's session. Now, of course, right, once the market goes back up to retest the high, we don't want to buy that high, so what do? We wait for that pullback again, right, and buy it on the dip. Beautiful buying opportunities today for anyone who watched the newsletter last night and was waiting to see, right, once we get that new higher high, right, spike in channel, and that really set things up nicely for us today. Now, as we're going forward, the bulls definitely still have that bullish tone to it, right? Now we're starting to see a little bit of some higher lows, connecting that dot there, but you'll notice one thing stands out, right? Big double tops here. So a couple different ways you can look at this. You could look at this as a spike in triangle, right? So double tops, but rising lows, right? So we call that an ascending triangle in, technical analysis speak. The bottom line is it's kind of the same thing as a wedge, right? So strong move up, right? We've got this coming over, right, coming over. I'm going to treat this like a wedge. I'll be very surprised if this double top holds. We don't see pure, true, now triple tops. Those are really, really rare. So the odds of that staying as a triple top by the time we get to it tomorrow morning are pretty low. I didn't say impossible, right? But the odds are pretty low. So bottom line is expecting to see this eventually push up into the top of that wedge. With that said, I have no interest in buying up here, right? So what's the plan for tomorrow? The plan for tomorrow is go looking for those traps. Anytime I see a wedge, or in this case, an ascending triangle, look left, find those prior swings. Let's get that on there as well. And really at this point now, looking for traps, right, to buy below those lows. We're looking for failures down inside the battle zone, right? Or maybe we get a little bit lucky here. Maybe get a nice deep pullback like we saw, right, from last night's newsletter. Nice deep pullback up and down and back in. You'll notice I have that battle zone a little bit lower, right, than I probably could have it, right? You could have the battle zone up around here, okay? But the reality, though, is that these double tops are not giving me that much confidence, right? If this was a true wedge, right, in other words, if we were making those higher highs here as well, that would give me a whole lot more confidence to put that battle zone right there. But the reality is we're not getting higher highs, right? We're getting, again, that triple top. Again, triple tops are rare. Again, true triple tops are rare. We'll probably end up seeing this market pull back, right, and then finalize that move once we attract some more buyers. So again, trap low here, failures, two-legged pullbacks, right, down into that battle zone for tomorrow. What if price goes higher? What if we don't get the pullback? Well, if price goes higher, I really want to see where we go next. We should finish off that rotation back up to that high. And if that's the case, now we can go out and start looking for buying opportunities down at the low of that channel, right? Down below that prior swing, right? Same thing. Just don't make the mistake of chasing after that move and trying to buy too high. As you can see, the buyers would love to get this major multi-day measured move up there at 49 even, which is a very, very popular level if you recall from last week's session. So 49 even is just looking like a tasty, tasty target for those buyers, but we've got to be careful buying into the high. We've got to be careful buying into the top of that wedge, right? If we see this market really jump, perfect. Now we know what we can do next. Now wait for that nice deep dip down. If we happen to run tomorrow, of course, we have inventories tomorrow. If we do happen to run, right, just recklessly higher here, don't take the bait. Anytime we see a run higher, right, I don't want to buy high, I want to buy low. It's always easier to come out and adopt the same plan that I use. So come out and join me tomorrow. You don't have to do this alone. Believe me, I've been in your shoes before. It took me over 3.5 years and 3 blown trade accounts, 6 figures in losses to finally stop making dumb rookie mistakes and start seeing some traction, right, and some success in my trading career. You don't have to do this alone. I'll be with all of our clients tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock Eastern time in the trade room. Come out and trade the strategy with me tomorrow, right, 8 o'clock Eastern time. And if you want more information, don't forget, we get a great free trial. Like I said before, right, I'm always biased. I think we have the best free trial in the business. But if you want to learn more about our trading terminology, if you want to learn more about the analysis tools, the markets we trade, the time frames we use, all the pattern setups we use in our trade room, you're going to absolutely love our free trial. While you're on the homepage at schooloftrade.com, check out the beginner, intermediate, and advanced levels of membership. We have great flexible payment options for our advanced membership. And don't forget, I'm always here to help you guys out 24/7, 365. Hit me up on live support. Don't forget tomorrow's weekly inventory report, right? Don't be a hero. There are plenty of great times to trade crude oil, right? Tomorrow at 10:30 is not one of them. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock Eastern time. If I don't see you then, we'll do it again tomorrow night. And again tomorrow night, the last newsletter of the week as we go into quadruple witching week later on this week. That'll do it for me tonight, guys. My name is Joseph. Be well out there. Be nice to each other, will you? And be here next time. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye.